For most people, when they think about treating obstructive sleep apnea, you think about the CPAP machine. Other options include dental appliances and even surgery. But I guarantee that if you Google natural options for sleep apnea, you'll find hundreds of options. Some of these may help, but there's not much evidence to support it. In this video, I'm going to describe 7 surprising natural supplements with supporting published results that may help to improve your sleep apnea and ultimately your sleep. Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Park, and I'm an ENT surgeon and sleep doctor. I'm also the author of the Amazon bestseller Sleep Interrupted. A physician reveals the #1 reason why so many of us are sick and tired. What motivates me to do these videos is all the great feedback and comments that I get from my audience, from people like you. Please continue to support my channel by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. And make sure to comment down below. Your comments help the algorithm to help more people find this content. Now, before I talk about the 7 natural supplements to help you with your sleep apnea, let me just go through the 5 basic steps you must do before you start trying any of these supplements. Number 1 is to lose weight if you're overweight. This is the single most important step to take to help your sleep apnea, especially if you have some weight to lose. Number 2 is to stop eating or snacking within 3 to 4 hours of bedtime. Number 3 is to avoid using electronic screens 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. These last 2 will help with acid reflux as well as to help you lose weight. Number 4 is to avoid sleeping on your back and to make sure you don't roll over and stay on your back. And number 5 is to optimize your ability to breathe through your nose, especially at night. You can use nasal dilator strips, also called breathe right strips, or any other way to get better nasal airflow. And many people like using nasal saline rinses or neti pots. Check out my other videos on these various topics listed below. And for those of you who are still struggling with chronic nasal congestion, check out my ebook, How to Unstuff Your Stuffy Nose, up here or down below. I'm sure that there are many other supplements or vitamins that may help with sleep apnea, but I'm going to cover 7 with at least some evidence behind it. Stick to the end and I'll reveal one surprising option you'll never guess that can help your sleep apnea get better. The first one is N-acetylcysteine, or NAC. This is converted in the liver to cysteine and then converted to glutathione, which acts as a powerful antioxidant. It's especially important in the mitochondria, which is the energy-making organ inside all the cells of your body. This is where routine metabolism can create damaging free radicals. I talked about this in another video on how melatonin is created inside the mitochondria by near-infrared light, which increases glutathione, which acts to neutralize any dangerous free radicals. You can find a link to that video below. We also know that untreated sleep apnea raises free radical production, also called oxidative stress, as well as many other markers of inflammation. And all these inflammatory markers tend to go down if you treat it with CPAP. So here's an interesting study that compared 20 people with sleep apnea who were given NAC for 30 days compared to 10 who got a placebo. After 30 days, the group that got the NAC had significant improvements in total deep sleep time and sleep efficiency. The AHI, or the sleep apnea severity score, dropped about 30%, snoring time dropped about 52%, and the sleepiness score dropped 46%. As expected, total glutathione levels increased significantly as well. So from this study alone, no doctor is going to recommend NAC if you have sleep apnea, but if your health regimen also includes supplements, it's worth trying. I believe the dosage was 600 milligrams 3 times a day for 30 days in the study, and I'll place links to this one and 3 more such studies, including a review article in the description area below. Number 2 is vitamin C, which has been promoted for decades as a strong antioxidant. Here's one study on 10 patients with sleep apnea where they measured what's called flow-mediated dilatation. In general, the more the blood flow, the more relaxed the muscles become and your artery size was bigger. This test is a measure of what's called endothelial dysfunction, meaning that there's not enough of a gas called nitric oxide, which helps to relax the smooth muscles lining the blood vessels. Compared to controls who didn't have sleep apnea, the sleep apnea group had lower responses, but this became completely normal after being given intravenous vitamin C. Number 3 is acetate, which is found in probiotics. It's been documented that poor sleep and especially low oxygen levels in the gut for people with sleep apnea have changes in the gut biome. Similar findings were shown in people who are overweight. There have been limited and conflicting results on fecal transplant studies in mice and humans, so there are still no practical uses for this technology as of yet. However, from what I've seen, either being overweight or having sleep apnea or both is likely what's causing the gut biome changes, not the other way around. So your gut biome changes may be the end result and not the cause of the weight gain or developing sleep apnea. However, one interesting area of study is the metabolic change and inflammation that happens in the gut due to loss of certain healthy bacteria. For example, it's been shown that lack of certain short-chain fatty acids can raise your blood pressure. Two particular types of probiotics called C-butyricum and hyaline have a protective effect on the gut as well as to lower blood pressure in mice models. Both of these bacteria are known to convert lactate and acetate into butyrate, which is a short-chain fatty acid that helps to break down certain fibers and is also the main energy source for the colon. So in theory, any significant degree of sleep deprivation or sleep apnea may lower these particular bacteria while lowering the fuel levels for the colon, as well as to increase inflammation in the gut. So before you start taking probiotics, start by optimizing your sleep first. There are also many other bacteria that convert lactate to acetate, which then gets converted to butyrate. So this is why if you do take probiotics, it has to be of high quality and have lots of different strains and colonies. And taking probiotics won't necessarily help you to sleep better, but it definitely may help you to feel better. And if your gut works better, then that should help you to digest food more efficiently and indirectly helps you to sleep better and lose weight easier as well. Number 4 is omega-3. The logic for omega-3 is similar to what I described for probiotics. It's not going to solve your sleep apnea condition, but it can potentially lessen the end damage caused by inflammation. One of many markers of inflammation is what's called tumor necrosis factor alpha, or TNF-alpha. Patients with sleep apnea are found to have higher levels of TNF-alpha, which improves with CPAP use. But we also know that one of the variants of omega-3 called DHA was inversely proportional to the severity of sleep apnea. Now, another omega-3 fatty acid called EPA was found to prevent muscle damage due to tumor necrosis factor alpha. Maybe as a result of its general anti-inflammatory properties, it's been found to be helpful with brain development, functioning, and aging. Omega-3 fatty acids are more commonly seen in olive, coconut, and avocado oils, and many fish such as salmon, mackerel, sea bass, oyster, shrimp, sardines, and also in various plant-based food items such as seaweed, algae, chia, flaxseed, hemp, walnuts, and edamame. It's also important to note that most of the common vegetable seed oils such as canola, corn, or rapeseed oils have much higher proportion of omega-6, which our diets have too much of. Number 5 is melatonin, which is a common supplement that's used for insomnia. Typically, you want to take it about 1 to 2 hours before you want to fall asleep. While I couldn't find any studies showing that melatonin helps with sleep apnea specifically, I did find one study showing that the peak level of melatonin was significantly lower at 2 a.m. in people with sleep apnea, but after 3 months of CPAP, it went back up to the same level as controls. And number 6, I know I keep coming back to vitamin D again and again. It's like a super vitamin. So I wasn't surprised to find a study showing that after 8 weeks of vitamin D supplementation for people with mild sleep apnea, the average blood vitamin D level went up from about 20 to 42. But surprisingly, the AHI, or the sleep apnea severity, dropped by 38% from 8.9 to 5.5, which was statistically significant. In relation to the final vitamin D levels, the markers of inflammation such as CRP, tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin 6 and interleukin 10 also went down significantly. Alternatively, if you give CPAP to people with sleep apnea and low vitamin D, it is found to raise vitamin D levels, but in men only. This is thought to be due to hormonal differences. So regardless of whether or not you have sleep apnea, it's important to get your vitamin D levels much higher than the conventionally recommended level of 30 to levels above 50 or 60. And number 7 may surprise you. This is vinegar. I was surprised as well. The most common recommendation is to use apple cider vinegar, but there are studies showing that even plain vinegar can work just as well, especially to help lower glucose levels after meals. It's also been found to lower hemoglobin A1C, the long-term marker of glucose control and insulin sensitivity. Along with these potential metabolic health benefits, it's also been found to help with weight loss. This prospective study from Japan found that people who ingested apple vinegar had significantly lower values of weight, BMI, visceral fat, waist circumference, and triglyceride levels. They drank about 1 tablespoon in 1 cup of water after breakfast and dinner, twice daily for 12 weeks. So the bottom line is that if you can lose even a little bit of weight, it can help with sleep apnea as well. Perhaps this is why many cultures use vinegar in their meals, particularly with salad dressing or various plain or pickled vegetables, which are acidic. One particular theory as to why this works is that you may not be making enough stomach acid, which makes sense. There are a number of reasons why you may not make as much stomach acid when you're eating, such as stress, toxins, or certain medications. Even sleep deprivation causes a certain degree of stress. It's also been shown that stomach acid production goes down when you're under stress. And maybe that's why you're not hungry or able to digest well if you're angry or mad. And this is why it's so important to take care of anything that may be causing you stress, including poor sleep, poor diets, and relational problems. And as we all know, stress will lead to behaviors that lead to eating more unhealthy foods. I realize that all these options won't address your sleep apnea entirely, but all of them can help to support your health status by lessening some of the damaging effects of untreated or suboptimally treated sleep apnea. This is why, rather than focusing on that one way of treating sleep apnea, whether it's a CPAP machine or a dental device, it's important to focus on a holistic approach to your health by addressing not only your sleep apnea, but also eating a healthy diet, eliminating toxins, following your circadian rhythms, and addressing any emotional or relational issues that may be causing stress in your life. If you found this information helpful, please click on the like button and subscribe. Please also leave a comment or feedback below. Which of these 7 options have you tried already, and how well did it work? Until next time, this is Dr. Stephen Park.